Ever felt those awkward vibes when religion and money come up? You're not alone. Welcome to Yahweh's Money, the podcast where we tackle the crossroads of faith and finance. I'm Shay Cook, an accredited financial counselor and the CEO and founder of Crusaders for Change, LLC.
And I'm Vanessa McNelley, accredited financial counselor and COO of Crusaders for Change. Join us on our journey as we discuss topics like tithing, saving, and conquering debt through religious perspectives. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Yahweh's Money. Hey Vanessa, how are you today?
Hey, I'm good, Shay. How are you?
I'm good. We're about to talk about a heavy, kind of maybe sad for some people, but hopefully uplifting as well. Topic of managing financial work stress. Wow. Okay. Well, we're going to delve into this topic because we need to. There's a lot going on in this world, and a lot of people are dealing with this stress at work, from whether it's hardships to layoffs. You know, at one point or another, many of us were affected by this and this stress, the financial stress in the workplace. So when business faces tough times, it's not just the bottom line that feels the strain. Oftentimes, it's the employees that bear the brunt of the financial hardships too. But fear not, because in this episode, we're exploring proactive ways businesses can support their employees during these challenging periods. So in Proverbs 27:23 through 24, it says, "Be sure you know the condition of your flocks. Give careful attention to your herds, for riches do not endure forever, and the crown is not as secure for all generations." When facing financial insecurity, this verse conveys the idea of being diligent and responsible in managing one's possessions and wealth. No matter how prosperous or powerful a person may be, their riches and position are not guaranteed to last indefinitely. This reminds us of the broader theme found throughout the Bible, that material wealth, I'm going to say that again, material wealth is temporary and ultimately less significant than spiritual values. Wow, that's powerful.
It really is. And it's sad we have to keep talking about this, that money isn't everything. But the reality of it is most people feel like money is
You have to
everything.
be reminded, because money is
You
everywhere,
know?
and that's all they talk about, and make it
Exactly.
very, very, very
Right?
sexy to have money.
Well, and it's like, okay, I understand that businesses have to be prosperous to
Mm-hmm.
employ people to keep in business. But I think there has to be a little balance there.
Yeah.
And there are lots of things that employers can do to make their employees feel like they're part of something bigger and that they matter. That doesn't cost money.
Exactly.
And one of those things is transparency and communication. If an employer is transparent with their employees and they know where they stand, there is going to be a bond there. And employees are going to trust their employer. They're going to feel a loyalty to that employer, and they're going to know exactly what's happening. So, if things are going well, you're going to know that. If things are not going well, you're going to know that too.
Exactly.
And the reality of it is I think a lot of employers feel like they're hiding these things from their employees. Employees always know.
Just
There's
like
always
children
talk.
know when parents are fighting, right?
Exactly. There's always talk. And that is so nerve-wracking to like
Mm,
sit there and be like, I don't know if I'm going to have a job tomorrow.
exactly.
Or are we going to get pay cuts? Or, are they going to close this location? Whatever that might be. If you can be transparent and open with your employees, they're going to stand with you no matter what the situation for the most part. And it's going to really alleviate some uncertainties, and it's going to foster trust between both parties.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I agree.
Yeah. And then if you're able to, which some businesses can't do that, if you're able to set some flexible work arrangements for your employees, do some remote work, flexible hours, you can even compress some of those work weeks, that's going to help your employees feel like they're more part of the team as well. I think you and I both worked in environments where we've had the longer days, but we've gotten a Friday off.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear, those are wonderful situations because you're getting just as much done, but you feel like you're getting a 3-day weekend every weekend.
Yeah.
So even though there might be some uncertainty, you feel like you're at least getting something out of the deal.
That's so true. The alternate work schedule. People will work
Hmm.
9, 10 hours a day and get off on a
Yeah.
Friday or Thursday, Friday, and just work 4 days,
Hmm.
5 days, 1 week, 4 days, another week. I
Right.
know, and you could see people's just morale increase by that opportunity.
It's
Hmm.
amazing. And then if you have children, you're only having to find childcare for 4 days versus 5.
Exactly.
So you're saving money
Hmm.
while your company may be having a rough patch. It's really helping you out financially too.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
There's so many things. And then employee recognition. And this does not have to be, an amazing ceremony with food and, gifts. Thank yous mean so much,
They do.
or small gestures mean so much. And it really helps your employee to feel like they matter.
Hmm.
I used to work at a place that had one of those novelty ice cream freezers.
Oh, yeah.
And just randomly, they would come over the intercom and say, "Thanks for all you do. We know what you're doing. We appreciate it. The ice cream lockers are going to be open from 2 to 4. Enjoy
Yeah.
and help yourself." And it's such a small little thing, but it really helped us to feel like we were, important and part of the team and that we mattered.
That is so true. We've had that too. Ice cream days, people bringing in donuts, bringing in
Right.
cakes, and every time Nate would make like some kind of bake, some kind of dessert, I would say make an extra, carrot cake
Hmm.
or make extra banana pudding or whatever, because I would bring it into my team so they can
Exactly.
experience that. And they always remembered me as the wife that had the husband that baked, but they appreciated that,
They
just showing,
do.
or taking them out to lunch or just going, like, let's go for a walk. Let's like, what?
Hmm.
Yeah, let's just get out and walk outside. And so I would randomly take a different employee and walk them around headquarters when I work for Coast Guard. And the list goes on in different ways you can just show people that you care about them.
So many things.
Yeah. And then there's things employers can offer, right? So, like
Hmm.
additional training and upskilling may increase their job security and future earning potential. I mean, who doesn't want more education? Now, when you get to a certain age in your life, you're like, why do I need to go to
True.
school or get
True.
another certification? But especially for the young ones, and
I
even when I was
agree.
younger, it was so great when an employer offered, I'll pay for some of your schooling. And I would always take
Right.
advantage of all of that.
Me
Every
too.
certification that I could that made me better on my resume. Cause, and a lot of times they, if you did schooling with an organization, you have to give them some years back or whatever. But still, that's job security, like I said. So,
It really is. And it shows that they believe in you.
mhm. And they're not, I mean, yeah, and not being worried about somebody's going to leave. They're going to leave anyway, but how it just makes you feel better as an
Yeah,
employer that you're taking care of your people. So,
exactly.
and offering financial counseling services. Hello, Crusaders for Change. This is a much needed support. We're talking about financial hardships and dealing with layoffs during and while you're in any kind of
Hmm.
crisis in your life, or when you're dealing with a business organization that are dealing with that financial crisis. Having that financial counseling service provided
Yeah.
by Crusaders for Change and beyond really helps individuals and their families and even the organization make sure that people are taken care of. So here at Crusaders for Change, we provide financial wellness programs to
Yeah.
organizations.
And it does help your employees know that you're thinking about more than just, them coming in every day.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked at a place before where we were hired for a nuclear plant that was shutting down.
Oh, wow.
And we went in and we had financial counseling sessions with the employees. And they knew that they were going to lose their job,
Mm-hmm.
but we could sit down with them and look at their retirement package. Could they retire now? Could they not? Are they willing to move to a new location for another opportunity with the company and what that would look like financially for them and their family? So that company really took the time to invest in their employees who have served them for all these years, even though they knew it was just a temporary situation.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
What a service to provide and really think about your people, right?
exactly.
Yeah, when I was laid off from the army, I mean, they called it, like I said, back in the day in 2010 or 11, they called it a BRAC, base realignment and closure, but it was basically them laying us off. They did try to place most people, but unfortunately I was part of one of like four in my Army Community Service Center that was not placed. And of course, we were doing doing providing those services to everybody on the base, but being able to sit down and talk to other people. I know, honestly, me sitting down with my husband was the most pivotal piece.
Yeah.
Like have a conversation. I don't know how long I'm gonna be out of work. Yeah, they're giving me a severance package, but this money's only gonna last this long. So let's figure this out. And I planned for
Right.
like 12 months out, in case that thank God, I found a job within 2 weeks. But I even stayed with that budget for like 6 months, so I could all the extra money I could, take care of whatever debt savings
Exactly.
and stuff. And just being able to know stuff ahead of time, it was so important.
Priceless. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that goes back to that transparency,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and being able to do that. I know I've worked somewhere before where I literally received an email saying, sorry, you're gone.
Oh
And
no.
as of right now, that's the case. And we've been told up until that day, everything's great, everything's wonderful, everybody's secure. And when you're being
Oh
told that by a
wow.
company and you think everything's good, and then they let a whole team go over email, and it's just,
That's horrible.
instantaneous,
Yeah.
you don't have time to prepare for that.
Not at all.
You have no time to prepare for that. So if there would have been some, conversations ahead of that, then we could have all kind of gone into emergency mode and,
Mm-hmm.
just had our needs met, not our wants, and saved for certain things. So employers need to understand that in doing that for their employees, they're really helping them get ahead, even if they know that there is no future in what they have there.
Exactly. And the one thing
Yeah.
that comes to mind for me is also people now lose trust, and they go into other workplaces, and they're coming and you're wondering why they're angry or upset or not being able to
Yeah.
trust you because they've been scorned. And
Hmm.
it's hard to, be able to go back in and trust somebody. So then
Yeah.
now us employers are working even harder to get these
Right.
people to trust us and be loyal because
Right.
they've been burned before. And so
Yeah.
that's so sad.
It's
Mm.
super sad, and it's just like any other relationship. Somebody who's
Mhm.
been in an abusive relationship in the past with a
Yes.
partner, or, an untrusting relationship, you bring that to your next relationship,
Yeah,
whether you think you do or not. But there has to be some barriers that are broken down there, and that takes a lot of time to repair. And
exactly.
sometimes you can't repair it fully. So I guess that comes into, needing other services too at that point. But
Exactly. Yeah. Like the employee assistance programs, they offer counseling and mental health support and referrals to financial assistance resources that we've talked about. Those really are pertinent when there's a transition, when there's a layoff, and there's any kind of hardship financially,
yeah,
spousal abuse, any, elder care. I mean, the list goes on that you can provide that to your employees to feel like, you really care about them. Like, I mean,
exactly.
going back to Proverbs 27:23, be sure you know the condition of your flocks and
Exactly.
give careful attention to your herds. I
Right.
mean, that's our responsibility as leaders, but as individuals, as Christians or
Mm-hmm.
any religious, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure there's some kind of religious text like that in every religion. Like, take care
Yeah.
of your people, know what they need and what they
Exactly.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, and when you're entrusted with a leadership role in a position, you're entrusted with these employees, these souls that, we are responsible for.
Mm-hmm.
And our job is to make sure that they are in the best physical shape, mental shape, that we possibly can while they're with us, just
They're
like a
not
parent,
robots.
right? And there are so many things going on other
Yeah.
than work. So,
Yeah.
our job is to make sure that we treat them the way we want to be treated. It's that
Exactly.
simple. Absolutely that simple.
Yeah, like I was
So,
saying, they're not robots. They can't just
no,
work and they don't have
no.
emotion, even though, we were talking about AI and we're not going to go down that road. That'll have to be a whole nother episode. But,
Right?
these people are not robots. They are souls, like Vanessa is saying, and they have a life outside of work. And that's why my husband calls it me being nosy, but I want to know not everything, but like a lot about the people that I work with
Yeah.
and for, like, or work for me or whatever,
Yeah.
whatever. I always
Yeah.
consider everybody a colleague, honestly. So
Hmm.
I want to know about Vanessa and TJ and everybody. To me, that's not only the bond that creates that, and beyond that, Alana and Adriana, and the list goes on. Eleanor, I don't want to miss anybody. I'm sure I am. Landon and Janessa and Don and
Yeah.
Mr. Hutt and everybody else on the list. Everybody I work with is part
Hmm.
of the business, from attorneys and Mahogany and Peter. I have to mention everybody now. But yeah, so everybody that I work with and for
Yeah.
and through the chamber and everything, because to me, building those relationships is key, and
Hmm.
building trust and loyalty. But it's
Hmm.
also knowing that I care about you. This is not
Exactly.
just exchange of money and me trying to get rich off of
Mm-hmm.
you. No, this is actually I want to work with people that I care about, that
Mm-hmm.
I love genuinely through Jesus. Like
Yeah.
that to me is important. So
Well,
when people are going through these financial hardships,
yeah.
I'm here to support you. If I
Right.
need to pay you more,
Right.
if I need to whatever, give you help, do a financial counseling session, whatever, I want
Mm-hmm.
to be here to support you. So
And it helps us be able to know when we need to show somebody more grace,
yes.
because there are things that go on outside of work. And
Mm-hmm.
whether you are caring for an elderly parent, or you're going through a divorce, or you just have a situation outside that's really just kind of messing with your head,
Mm-hmm.
or even the good things and the good times, you want to be able to be there to uplift people
Mm-hmm.
and really celebrate with them too,
Yeah.
outside of work. So it all goes hand in hand.
It all
But
goes hand in hand.
there's sometimes in work life where you're kind of at this point as an employer, and you're like, I don't know what to do.
Mm.
We've got to do something because what we're doing is not working. And there are some last resort temporary measures that
Mm-hmm.
employers can take. But I think it still comes back to that transparency and that
Yeah.
openness and the communication. So there are ways to eliminate layoffs, or business closures, and sometimes that might be making your team a little smaller, or
Mm-hmm.
even doing some temporary pay cuts.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked at places before where the executive team has taken pay cuts
Exactly.
to keep everybody else afloat. And I think employees appreciate that because they
Mm-hmm.
know it's coming from the top down versus the
Mm-hmm.
other way, like it usually
It
does.
usually does. Yeah.
Because usually you get rid of employees first. But
Mm-hmm.
if they know that you are investing in them by taking a salary decrease, they know that you're in it for them as well, because you're not doing that just to do it. You're doing that so you can help your employees stay there and get through this rough patch.
Mm-hmm.
You can also reduce work hours, which I know a lot of people have been in that situation where they've reduced their work hours, reduces pay, but at least you still have a job, you
Still
still
have a
have
job.
benefits,
Mm-hmm.
and you can find a side hustle if you really want to kind of make
Mm-hmm.
things work. Sometimes that even helps because of childcare, or not being able to attend or do certain things, or you have parents you're taking care of, so you have more time for that.
Yeah.
So it's a good way to not have to get rid of people, because it might just be a temporary thing that you need to get through whatever season it is in your company's life. There's also voluntary unpaid leave. Some people would love to take a month off and travel, or take a month off and, you know, go stay with family to help with something because they've planned and financially they're secure enough. And that could be a way to kind of get things back on track too. The ones that need to work can stay, the ones that don't and they would love to have some time off can take it.
Yeah, true. And
Yeah,
sometimes you just need a self-care or reset. So
exactly.
sabbatical, as they would call it in churches. People just take off for
Yeah,
the summer just to reset
exactly.
mentally, spiritually, physically. So, and that might be good.
Exactly.
Yeah, unfortunately you're not getting paid, but at least you're taking care of yourself, and that's even worth even
Right,
more.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some employees who truly work just to provide childcare, or
Mm-hmm.
to take care of, certain bills that they may not have if they were at work, especially
Yeah,
when it's a two-income family.
that's
So
so
that's
true.
something to consider as well. But, goes into the voluntary part and not the involuntary.
Mm-hmm.
So really kind of look at these situations. So, and then another thing that we've not talked about a lot yet is prayer, and
Mm,
just relying on you know, any spiritual leaders that we have in the community, religious organizations, we can utilize those services and have these communications, because it's so good to get these things out. Because I think as employers, sometimes you feel like you don't have anybody you can talk to.
mm,
You have this burden on your
yeah,
shoulders and you're bearing this alone, but you don't have to.
you don't have
You
to.
don't have to. And that's why aligning yourself with people who have the same belief structure as you and will uplift you in these situations, that's a powerful, powerful thing.
It really is. And the scripture for today in the Bible app is Galatians 6:2. It says, carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. And I think so many of us are carrying a lot of burdens silently or not sharing that. And when I saw that scripture and I woke up this morning, I'm like, oh my God, yes, we need to carry each other's burdens.
Right.
And just because that's the way of the Lord. And there's these religious organizations and even beautiful community organizations that we even work with, like Sarah's House, and the list goes on, that are really out here trying to help people. And it's no shame in asking for help. So go to prayer and remove the shame and the guilt and all of that. And, if you need help, ask, because people are here, including Crusaders for Change. So, we're here to support you, or even just as individuals, Vanessa and I, we are here to support people. So, that's beautiful. So any final thoughts?
I just say, if you find yourself in a position as an employer, surround yourself with people who are like-minded and who will be uplifting versus tear you down. And remember that you can have these conversations with trusted people, even within your own company, because you're showing that you want what's best for your people.
Amen. And even when you're going through the darkness, remember there's always light on the other side. So keeping hope alive is how I would end this episode. So thank you for joining us today. A big thank you for listening to this episode. We hope you found today's chat about the intersection of religion and money insightful. We would love to hear your feedback. Hit that subscribe button or follow the podcast. And please feel free to leave us a review.
Yes, and for the latest Yahweh's Money content, visit us at crusaders4change.org or find us anywhere you listen to podcasts. Until next time, stay financially fit and spiritually inspired.
And remember, it's always better Yahweh's way.